How long for?
I can't talk about it.
But he is definitely more engaged.
There will be quite a lot of, movement and moving chairs going on.
The clear issue that we saw last year was that
Where I look at everybody I speak to, we're not short of ideas.
Greg, I'm going to kick it off with you.
All right.
Can you tell the group a little bit about MoneyGram's sponsorship goals for the year, and then a little bit about the event we're hosting today?
Awesome. Yeah, happy to. So, hi, great to see everybody, and see everybody in person is fun. As far as MoneyGram goes, just real quick, I think you guys know this, but we're a financial technology platform. We serve customers globally, over 200 countries. We've been around 8 years. But in the last 5 or 6 years, our digital business has accelerated quite rapidly, and so more than half of our transactions are done digitally via phone, website, etc. Part of the F1 thesis of this investment is really to create that awareness with our existing customers as well as new customers of these digital capabilities, so we continue to grow that. I say all that because what that translates to then is how we work with the team and how we work with promoting this is really putting our customers and fans first. And so everything we do, if you go back to look at last year, it's always a customer, it's always a fan, it's someone who's being brought closer to the action, so whether revealing the livery last year or having during weekends of people showing up and being able to have a paddock experience. It kind of leads to tonight. After this event, we have about 50 fans coming in to experience F1 Drive. And so I think Kevin and Nico are getting to lay down a lap or something like that. And our fans will not only get to try to beat that, but then Crofty's going to come in, hold a Q&A session with them, and so they'll really get an intimate experience with the team. And so it's something that's been important to us, and hopefully that helps answer.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's great. And I'm switching gears a little bit to the team. Can you talk a little bit about team objectives, kind of high level for the year?
For this year?
For this year,
yeah. Obviously, we didn't have a great season last year, as you all know. So we are really keen to show incremental improvement. So our target is obviously definitely have to get off the back of the grid and then closing the gap to the front of the grid. So again, I believe we got really good bunch of talented people, and it's really a case of putting everything together, giving the environment framework that they can work in. So really looking forward to this challenge and then improve the team performance.
Awesome. Kevin and Nico, my only question for you guys is, as Greg said, you're about to take the wheel here today. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're the first two F1 drivers to take the wheel at F1 Drive, that's just open. Are you excited? Are you nervous? How are we feeling?
Really nervous.
Nervous? Nevin?
So it's a Formula One like branded.
Yeah, karting experience.
Okay, yeah. That sounds cool. Looking forward to it.
It is cool. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. That's all from me. Alex, I'm going to pass it to you to ask a few questions, and then we can go kind of around.
Great. Hi, I'm Alex from Sports Illustrated. Now, the driver market is being obviously set alight by the movement of Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari. Have you had talks yet of solidifying a more long-term contract?
It's done.
It's done. How long for?
I can't talk about it.
Can't talk about it. I don't think so. You can't say how long for at all. That's very annoying. Okay.
I mean, no, I haven't had any talks this year about that. We're in February, just in February, and we haven't even started. Everyone's super focused on getting ready for the season, and yes, there was this big news about Hamilton's move to Ferrari, but on my side, certainly we need to get the focus on getting the season going, and then at some point we'll have the conversation.
Okay, and you're feeling optimistic going into the season? I know last season was difficult, and I know there is a certain amount of movement to do within the team, like you say, kind of operationally. But with that in mind, is it going to be a more kind of treading water season, or are you pushing for more?
Of course, we're pushing for more. We want to improve. We want to do better than last year. But I think we have to prove it. We have to put in the work and definitely do a better job than last year. And like Ayao said, we want to close the gap and don't be at the back. But that's definitely the big job and the challenge for us this year.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Kian from Sports Craig and Blackbird Motorsports. I'm going to come to you, Greg, because we spoke last year. You told me last year that obviously Guenther was a big part of you sort of signing on with the team. This is obviously going to be Haas's first season without Guenther, so I just wondered how you reacted to that initial news and how you're going to sort of develop this partnership moving forwards.
Yeah, I appreciate the question. I think, we had driver questions last year, and I think our answer always stays the same. Like, we don't get involved in racing decisions. We don't get involved in the team decisions, right? We work with the team as far as promoting and getting customers there and everything else. And so we had a great relationship with Guenther. That was great relationship with the drivers. Ayao and I got to spend some time yesterday, and we think about things very similarly. And so, we're excited about it. We're going to continue to do the things we did last year of bringing, fans, customers closer to the action, and that's what makes it all work for us. And so I think we learned a lot last year. There's things we'll do less of, there's things we'll do more of. Sometimes things work better than others when you're in marketing, but at the end of the day, the focus remains the same. So yeah, I'm super excited about the year. But
I just want to ask you about you taking on this new role. Sure. You're replacing Guenther, big personality. But just about you, how do you define your main qualities as a leader? And is there anything particularly different you want to offer the team this year, which Guenther maybe couldn't?
Again, what I'm focused on is really setting a clear strategy, vision towards achieving certain objectives we set ourselves to, and then really bringing team together by communication and then being present. We got half the team in the UK, half the team in Italy. Of course, I'm UK based, so I'm making more conscious effort to visit our UK office more and be just really needs to integrate those two offices together. And then, like I said, we've got really good people, quality people. So, but just if we cannot integrate them, if we cannot get them to work together in a good way, we cannot perform. Conversely, if we can, then we can perform. I really believe that. So we made some changes in the organization structures, and we made some changes in promoting certain people internally. Again, for the key positions we promoted internally, again, it just proves to you that we got quality people there. So I'm optimistic in the sense that there's a lot we can improve, but of course we got a tough competition, right? So I'm not dreaming that we can silently fight in midfield. That's going to take a lot more than that. But at least I'm confident that we can show incremental improvement to our owners.
Sure, I mean, Gene said when Guenther left he was just tired of finishing towards the back of the grid. Has he given you like a set target in terms of position or a way you finish race by race to you this year, like a certain metric?
Yeah, our official target this year is P8 in the championship, but again, without stating obvious, to be P8, we got to beat two other teams. Who are we going to beat? Everybody else is, clever people, smart people, with investment, more history than us, much bigger than us. The next smallest team is twice as big as us. But at the same time, let's not lose the sight of improving, and then I'm more focused on closing a gap to the front, if you like. Then whether that's enough to translate into P8, P7, it's I cannot control that. It's up to our competitions. But I'm really focused on just improving internally as a team. Work better, work as one, then with the quality of people we got, I believe we can improve a lot. So, yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Greg, Ben Cronin from Sport Business Sponsorship. I just wanted to know, first of all, how important is it to sponsor a competitive car, or are there other sort of intangibles that are more valuable to you that in the deal, other assets that you get into in? So.
Yeah, it's a great question. We finished 10th last year. We had fantastic results from a marketing perspective. So it's not a correlation that has to be tied to your position in the constructors final. That said, performance is good. I'm competitive like everybody else, and like the drivers are, and they want to win every race, right? So, I think it's accretive to what we're doing. But as far as as I mentioned, bringing fans and people close into it, like you bring a fan and have an experience inside the paddock, if they are at all a racing fan, it's one of the greatest experiences they'll have, like in their life. It's a lifetime experience. And so the ability to create that, engage fans or things like that, engage them, get them close to, Nico, Kevin, let me ask him questions later. Ayao's coming in, they can talk him, ask him questions that you guys are asking right now. People don't get to do that in general. And so by doing that and promoting that, we're able to kind of amplify the brand, amplify the message. And it doesn't matter whether we're 7th or 8th or 6th. We want to be first. We're also realistic. My goal would be first, but they probably, might be unrealistic. But no, I think it's not a perfect correlation. It is accretive, and we're going to do everything we can to support these guys so they can do as well as they can.
Yeah, just one more question.
Yes.
I mean, have there been any discussions about renewal, or is it too early? It's a 3-year contract, isn't it?
We have a 5-year deal with the team. Yeah, and so we're planning on being here for the long haul. And this is year 2. Like I said, year 1 was a great year, but it was a lot of learnings, and so we're hoping to kind of build off of what we did last year.
Is it 3 with a 2-year option? Is it?
I can't talk about the details of the contract, but it is a 5-year deal. Yeah.
Alan Baldwin from Reuters. But if I can ask, Guenther was obviously running the team, but he was still an employee when Gene hired him as the team boss. So ultimately he was reporting to Gene. Do you expect Gene to be more involved now in perhaps the political side of the sport, and there's meetings with other team bosses and these, or is he kind of leaving it to you in the same way that he left it to Guenther? Because clearly you are more of an engineer perhaps than Guenther was, and much more to do with the practical side of things, but the politics of it all. Do you see a division, or how's that going to work?
I think, it's a bit difficult question to answer, but in terms of from a Gene side, in the end, I think it'd be pretty similar to before. He's definitely more engaged. Of course, I don't know if he said it in the press, but he wants to see the team improve. So he's very, very interested in how we are developing the car, etc. And of course, like you mentioned, the political side of F1, how we position ourselves, it's very, very important for us to have a chance being competitive. But again, that's more me to feed back to him, get him engaged, and get him to understand what's the landscape, where's the major currents going, then for him to be able to take an informed decision. So it's not necessarily coming proactive from his side, but I want him to be engaged on that side so that as an owner, he can take the correct decision. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes. Can I just go back on the Guenther side of things? Yeah. No disrespect to Ayao, but when he was like sort of, to some fans, Haas personified, even though obviously Gene, it's Haas. But it's a lot of. So has there been any kind of a backlash or anything that for Guenther to be suddenly leaving, and
from like a MoneyGram
well,
perspective?
just from you felt at all that people who had got on board because of the MoneyGram aspect was Guenther leading the show. But maybe this is a completely different entity now. I mean, it's a different personality.
I mean, we probably all read the same press articles. I think, like in general, Guenther's loved, right? And he was well loved and tried to survive, and so a lot of people got to know him through a TV show, and which gives you a little more background into people and their lives and families and things. And so, I think in that way, people that like Guenther are always going to like Guenther. He's a great guy. I think from a racing perspective, from at least what I've seen is, this happens in the U.S., right? Coaches get changed all the time. You can be a great coach, but if you're not producing results, owners tend to make changes. And I think most people that I've seen talk about this in the press is, kind of understand that. It's like, hey, we got to do something to shake it up, and we don't want to be 10th. We want to be moving up. And so I don't know that I have not seen any negative backlash from any of it. But, I think if you loved Guenther, you're still going to love Guenther. And if you're cheering for Haas, you're still going to cheer for Haas, right? So, yeah.
Ayao, you said with the way Haas is currently structured, there's a ceiling to its performance, which you're currently not reaching. Have you got a timeline in mind where you're going to reach that ceiling? And depending on how far away that is, are you then going to be thinking, okay, I need to look for more investment to build?
You don't want to see a ceiling. You're talking about maximizing our potential.
Exactly.
Yeah. Of course. Like at the moment, because everywhere I look at, everybody I speak to, we're not short of ideas. We can improve in many areas. So we really focused on that in terms of time scale, depending how quickly we can turn things around, right? So I'd like to think it's within 2024 that we can feel the improvement in many areas, and whether that gets to the stage where, right, this is maximum with what we got within 24 or not, I don't know at this minute. But of course, we're trying to get to that stage as quickly as possible. At that point, of course, we need to change the framework, the constraints, but we'll be doing that step by step.
Okay, and with talks of GM eventually making its way into the sport, have you had any kind of talking with them? Have you had a chat regarding
honestly, I'm
powertrain?
really just focused on what we got.
Yeah.
There's a huge challenge ahead of us to perform, improve in this year. So I'm really focused on that.
Are you expecting quite a steep development curve?
This year,
Yes.
steep, depends what you mean by steep, to be honest. I mean, if you look at the history of our Haas F1 team,
Yeah.
we haven't really been able to improve the cars throughout the season. And then there is a reason for that, so then I believe we're putting the things that rectifies, corrects that issue. So again, our first and foremost focus is, okay, look at our car in Bahrain, analyze it properly, get together, and then put a correct development path and improve the car throughout the season. So that's what we are aiming to do.
Okay, thank you. I don't mean to keep bringing up Guenther, but
No, it's fine.
obviously you worked with him for a long time, and he had a massive commercial influence on the
Sure.
team. I just wondered if you have taken any learnings from his approach. I've spoken to Mark Morrow in the past, who said that Guenther has basically won commercial deals with the team single-handedly. So I guess, do you take any inspiration from that, and will you sort of try and follow that moving forwards, or
Honestly, like I said to somebody else, I'm not trying to be Guenther Steiner, right? And I'm not trying to replace him as a character. Of course, I've replaced him as a team principal, as a position to lead the team, lead the racing team, right? So if Gene wanted to replace Guenther as Guenther Steiner character, obviously you'd have chosen somebody else. So to me, again, message from Gene's pretty clear. He wants a performing organization, and that's what I'm trying to do. So all I can do is to be the best version of myself. Right? If I'm trying to be somebody else, am I going to succeed? Of course not. But all I can do is just to try to be the best I can be. And I believe if we can do that, with everybody we've got in the team, we can do that team. So that's what I'm focused on.
Absolutely. But do you see yourself having, I guess, the same involvement that he had on the commercial side?
Yeah. I mean, of course, with our MoneyGram, we worked together. I had a good chat with Greg last night, and we are aligned. Honestly, what we're going to achieve, we are the partners, part of the team, not just a race team and a sponsor. So on that side, anything I can enhance or I can play a role in enhancing that relationship, I'm all for it. But I'm not going to suddenly turn into some sort of a marketing guru. That's not me, right? So, yeah. But of course, to bring a performance, we need finance. But we have people helping us doing that. So, yeah, I'll be doing it in a very different way to Guenther.
Perfect, thank you.
Kevin, Nico, I was just wondering, from a personal point of view, with your driving this year, what's the one clear goal you want to achieve from comparing it to last year? Any particular difficulties last year which you want to improve on? Will it be qualifying, race pace? Will it be both? Well, what about just one thing each you'd really like to improve on this year?
I think the clear issue that we saw last year was that we were not able to replicate the performance that we had qualifying in the race.
Yeah.
For several reasons, we just weren't able to keep up the pace on more than one or a couple of laps, and then we'd start to fall off the pace, and others would keep it more consistent, and that would be our Achilles heel in virtually every Grand Prix of last season. So I think that's clearly the most frustrating issue that you see, because you see the performance, you see the potential on Saturday in qualifying. Sometimes it messes with your mind. You see that one lap pace, and it's possible to be in the top 10, and then on Sunday it's very, very hard to replicate. So clearly that's one issue that I hope to see an improvement.
Yeah, same that for sure, and I think a better development curve. I think last year that was pretty flat, and that was also part of the problem why we fell off the wagon a bit second half of last year. And I think the development race is on constantly, at the front, in the midfield, at the back, everywhere. But I think there we definitely need to improve and to do a better job than last year.
And secondly, for both of you, I mean, you've both been in F1 and around the F1 bubble for a long time. What keeps your motivation up to keep coming back year after year, particularly when the results have been towards the back of the pack?
Well, I think there's always opportunities. Although it's not fun when you don't have good years. Like last year was a long year, and it's frustrating, and it's tough. But there's always next year. You can always look forward and try for better and hope for better. And I think this year is exciting. There's a big change in the team, new structure on its way. I think it's that in itself is very exciting. I love Guenther. I've had a great relationship with in the time that I've been with Haas, but it's also exciting to see some change, some real change. And this, I think it's great that Ayao is already addressing some of the elephants in the room, like our trajectory on development through a season. It just hasn't been good. The fact that perhaps this structure in the team has a ceiling. It's not important for the short term, but for the long term, maybe that's gonna make difference. And I just think it's certainly very exciting times for us in Haas.
Yeah, keeps the motivation up. Whilst it's not fun like last year, to have a difficult year like we had, it's always a question of what's the alternative. And to race in another series, not in F1 would be way less fun. That's in itself is motivation enough to be in the pinnacle of the sport. Especially for me, who has done 8-9 years, then had 3 years away from it, then managed to come back in. I still feel refreshed from the break, and feel the fire. Feel the it's mine and Kevin's job, to perform, but also to help the team, to drive it forward, and all these positive things, that you can do as a F1 driver. There's also ask of you, even if it's not at the front, which we'd all like, but it's still the challenge, the grind with the team, the buzz that you get from doing a quali, doing a race is it's not bad. No struggle for motivation.
Yeah.
Greg, has MoneyGram got any appetite for other sports sponsorships rights outside of F1?
Yes, we sponsor FC Dallas. It's a U.S. MLS team and local for us. As far as that, those would be the two big investments we'll look at this year. We've sponsored cricket and Cricket World Cup in the past and done a few other things, so we've had different experiences. Right now, F1's it's got the best coverage. Like I said, we're in 200 countries. They race in about 20 countries. Those races overlap with about 70% of our revenue. So it's really a unique overlap between where the races actually take place, where we can promote, and where most of our customers actually live and breathe. So right now that'll be our focus, but we have done in the past. We do have the FC Dallas relationship.
And what would the decision-making process be if you were sort of looking at new opportunities? How would you identify them and make a fun decision?
Yeah, I think any sponsorship, it's is it accretive to what you're trying to accomplish as an organization, right? We're trying to grow. Again, for us, F1 puts us, in the countries where a lot of our fans are, and so and we want to activate, we want to bring fans closer, so it just makes a lot of sense. And so if it's ticking that criteria, or if it's in certain markets where we're going to have a specific influence based on what we've learned here, we can learn a lot more. So it might not be a total global sponsorship, but we might do some local, and that was probably the approach we would take that would be similar.
It's a question for Kevin and Nico. On the driving side, there's no rookie this year. Every driver is with the same team that they were with last year, so there's a very rare stability. Everyone knows the teams, they're all familiar with everyone around them. But on the other hand, half the grid is out of the seat at the end of the year. So how do you see that playing into the actual racing? Because are people going to be, that half chance that they might have hesitated because they might have damaged the car? Are they going to be just going for it because they want to make a kind of bit of a glory run because they've got to get attention? Or is it going to be more aggressive? How's it going to be?
I think it's can only. So I don't think so. Can only speculate. But it's what you said. It's fact that I think there will be quite a lot of movement and moving chairs going on. That's interesting and exciting in itself. But everyone is obviously trying to advertise for himself as much and as good as possible. That's natural. We all fight for the same tarmac and for the same seats. So, but again, it's the same.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think it's probably I can see myself 8 years ago as a rookie. In the first years in Formula One, it was something that took up more space in my mind. Now you build up, I guess, some resilience to the outside circumstances, and you're able to focus more on the job, no matter what kind of contractual situation you're in, and that it affects me less at least. And I know, but I would guess it's the same for most of the experienced drivers. You've been through this cycle many times before, and it's not new. It's not as intimidating anymore.
I think we probably have time for one more question. Anyone wants to take a finale?
Could I just ask, did you always want to be a team boss, or was it just something that sort of landed in your task? Was it ever a career thought, I want to be a team boss?
No, honestly, no. So since I was 12, 13 years old, I wanted to do Formula 1. And then all I knew was I wanted to do Formula 1 on the chassis side, not on the engine side. So I decided to come over to the UK, right? And then did study, got a job in Formula 1. But then I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I just wanted to do vehicle dynamics, performance, that side. Then I thought, okay, I want to be a race engineer. Then became performance engineer, race engineer. When I was doing race engineer, it's not like I want to be chief race engineer straight away. I was very happy running a car. So I was going to do it for 10 years. Then opportunity came up after 4 years. Then became chief race engineer. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Then again, came to Haas as a new team opportunity. Again, was I looking for a new team? No. But then I came to speak with Guenther. I really liked his vision, what he told me. So I decided, okay, I'm going to take this challenge. It's everywhere. It's a challenge, and timing and the opportunity. And even like last year, it's not like I was thinking I'm going to become team principal replacing Guenther. No way. I was focused on my job, being an engineering director, trying to do the best job I can. But of course, I see the constraints outside of my limit. Why don't we do this? How about this? How about that? But never I thought, I'm going to be team principal to do it. But then things happened, and then Jim made his decision. And then when Jim gave me the opportunity, okay, I know the team very well, lots of ideas. I know people are good, so why not give it a go? And so, yeah.
And we have this magnificent kart track so you can go and pitch your driving skills up against our MoneyGram Haas drivers a little later on. 2024 is going to be a really exciting season, and don't just take my word for that. Take the words of a couple of people who will be on the grid and one who will be on the pit wall, not just cheering on the MoneyGram Haas F1 team, but leading them from the front. So put your hands together as they make their way towards us now. First and foremost, our drivers, beginning with Nico Hukenberg, ladies and gentlemen. And let's hope this is not a foretaste of things to come this year. Trailing in behind him, put your hands together for Kevin Magnussen. And put your hands together for the newest team principal on the grid, Ayao Komatsu. Come on, TP. Oh, you're so good to see you.
See you.
How are you, mate?
Thank you.
Come and take a seat. Welcome. We had a busy day, gentlemen.
It's good to hear your voices warmed up already again.
Hey, listen, I spent the last week getting ready for the new season, shouting lights out the way we go, and every set of traffic lights on the North Circular.
Yeah, I believe you. You are that nuts.
I am that nuts, I really am. That leads me on to my first question. Team principal, are you that nuts too, or is this a job you never wanted to turn down?
You don't get the opportunity every single year, right? So when Jim gave me the possibility, yeah, all for it.
How different has your life been over the last month since the call came in?
Yes, slightly different because obviously I got very different responsibilities, activities, but yeah, but the thing is like, with what we experienced before, things we wanted to try and do it, now we can try and do it. So it's been really positive, and then I can't really something up for all the people in the team. Their reaction has been amazingly positive. So it's good.
It's not a new team. You've obviously been with the Haas team ever since its inception, but it's a very new role. So what does a team principal do in his first month in the job?
Really setting the clear objectives and then coming up with a strategy how to achieve that objective and really communicating with everyone in the team. Then, as you know, we've got factory in the UK and Italy, it's kind of like 50-50. So really sitting down with as many as managers as possible, telling them how we're going to go about achieving our objective this season and get alignment to everybody on the same table. So I've been doing that in the UK, then went to Italy, done exactly the same. So really just people need to understand what's our objective, how we are going on about it, and then what kind of roles they can play. So yeah, as long as they empowers them, provide them with an environment that they can perform. So I really do think we got really a good bunch of talented people. So really for me, is my job role is to facilitate that give them environment.
You've got two very good drivers as well. Gents, you've had a few team principals. Yeah, I did reckon. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. You've had a few team principals in your life. What sort of TP is Ayao going to make, do you think?
Yeah, let's see. It's going to be interesting once it's go time and crack time and when things get a bit more intense. But yeah, I've worked with him last year and so far so good. Look forward to the contract talks this year and today.
Kev, any doors to be smashed this year at all?
No, I don't foresee any doors smashing. So I've known Ayao since the beginning of my time with Haas, so it's not a new phase for me at all. But it's a new position, it's a new opportunity, and I think this opportunity presents a lot of excitement and anticipation. I think the Formula One field is getting more and more competitive. Everything is getting closer and closer. And I think it is time for change. We had a very tough year last year, and to move out of that spot, we need to do something different. And I think Ayao has this opportunity to present a new structure for the team. Ayao is an engineer. He's been in the race team, leading the race team, the race engineering group, and I think getting that set of eyes at the forefront of the organisation is going to be very interesting.
The car was launched, the MoneyGram Haas car was revealed to the public last week. You've obviously seen a bit more over the winter. What were your initial impressions of the new car that you're going to be driving for this year?
Well, it's an evolution, of last year. The car that we kind of sort of finished with. I think we've managed to clean up a few areas, found a bit more performance. Tried it in the simulator. That was alright. Obviously, we have to get our hands on it on the 21st of February, like everybody else, and winter testing in Bahrain, and then work from there.
It looks fantastic. Nico thinks it's a bit quicker as well, which is good. Is it going to be quick enough for you?
No, it's never quick enough. That's not possible. But I think we made a shift to this year's car quite late last year, and the progress that I've seen at that time, which has been shorter than we wished, I think that's been quite positive. But that's not saying that we are good enough. We finished last year in P10, and we, as I said, we need to get out of that position. The work that's been done over the last couple of months, I think, has been very, very good, very positive. But certainly the position we're in right now, and to start with, it's not going to be where we want to finish. So I think, as I said, lots of opportunities this year, and I hope to see a better into this year than we saw last year.
So difficult for everybody in a Formula One team, these days, with 24 races and such a long season. Not just to get through the season, but to look ahead to future seasons as well. Did you have enough time over the winter to put everything in that you would have liked from an engineering perspective?
No, with a simple answer. Even for 24, obviously we announced a change on 10th of January, and as you know, we're running a car on the 11th of February, so very, very compressed time period. So obviously I've been flat out sorting out the 24 preparation, let alone 25 and 26, so it's a very, very that's not what anyone wants. So we really got to improve this season, and then we all focus on that.
Can't wait to see this car on the track and see what is going to happen. 24 races. How do you guys cope as drivers for 24 races? Plus all the engagements that take place over a race weekend, plus your sim work, trying to fit in some family time as well. It's a congested year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I think we cope with it quite well. Obviously, we're in a fortunate position that we arrived to the venue as one of the latest, and fortunate to leave as one of the first. And also, I feel how they've structured and built the calendar this year is better than last year. We started earlier, we finished later. It's quite nicely stretched out with some decent breaks in between. So, yeah, very exciting. 24 opportunities this year, and ready to go.
What's your best tip for 24 races and how to survive? Okay, Mag?
Well, I mean, it's going to be, it's going to be a long year, a lot of jet lag. I think the best thing to do for jet lag is to drink alcohol, and I can't really do that. So it is going to be a long year. I know you can do that, but it's not the way we can do it. So just got to cope with it.
George Russell, I once asked, so I heard a rumour that he took his own pillow with him to races, and he said yes, he does. He also takes his own mattress now as well, just to guarantee that he gets a good night's sleep. Is there any room in the frame for a mattress and a pillow? Do you boys want to do that?
Well, that would have to be all up here, all at home, so it's not an option for us. We have swapped it already.
Yeah.
That's you for real?
Yeah, for real. He takes his own mattress and a pillow to races.
Do you find that professional or a bit like?
I find that thoroughly professional. You should see some of the hotels I stay in. But then you can talk to me about that in the next drivers briefing. Let's talk about Formula One's popularity. It has surged in recent years, particularly in America as well. Drive to Survive has been a key component in that. You're grinning already. Your predecessor was quite a star of Drive to Survive. Are we going to see the Ayao Komatsu fan club start now? Are you going to become a bit of a superstar for this series?
I don't think so. As you know what Guenther's like, you know what I'm like. So we are very different characters. I'm not trying to be Guenther Steiner. I can't be. Right, he has his strengths. I've got my strengths. I focus on my strengths. Try to be the best version of myself, and that's the way I feel I can contribute to the team the most.
How important is Drive to Survive though, and also the initiatives that MoneyGram put in bringing the fans closer to a Formula One team?
That initiative from MoneyGram, I'm all for it. It's really great. I think for a lot of us who's doing Formula One for a long time, maybe take it for granted, but then when you have your friends or families in the garage, when their eyes lit up, you understand what they mean to them. So if we can bring that kind of positivity to more fans, more members of the public, that's only really good. So I really like MoneyGram's initiative.
Have you seen any of the new series, you two yet? No? You've done some filming for it? Can you give us an inside scoop? Are we having breakfast with the Magnussens like Toto and Susie Wolf did last year? Anything like that?
I don't think we did. Maybe we did, but I can't remember. They are everywhere. They're always there at Netflix. But I can't tell you how. I haven't seen it, and I know how reality was, but that's not. It doesn't say much about how Netflix is going to be. So we'll see.
What about you? Horseback, riding through the countryside?
How do you know?
Just a rumour I heard.
Yeah, we'll just wait and see.
Part of your pre-season training. And in America, we have 3 races now. There's a lot to talk about a 4th. Do we need a 4th race in the United States?
I don't know. For me, 3 races in the US is already pretty good. And then those 3 races, Austin, Miami, Vegas, they all got different characters, different focus, different audience. So I think it's time to consolidate that more. We only done racing in Vegas for 1 year, and then this year already changing the time of the practice and qualifying as well. So it's going to be slightly different. So yeah, I'd like to see those 3 events develop more, especially Miami and Vegas, and then really started doing some consolidation and then develop the core fan base.
I see lots of reports about a Chicago race and another street track. There are a lot of street tracks at the moment. As drivers, does that change the way you go racing? Because street tracks are quite different to a normal racetrack that you would
street circuits. Some drivers don't, prefer them. They like the road courses more. Of course, the new street circuits, they, obviously don't have any history. Whereas if you go to Monza or Spa, Suzuki, there's a long, history there, and you feel that in the atmosphere at the races. But personally, driving, I find it more exciting on the street tracks.
Are you the same view? There's less room for error, isn't there, on the street track?
Definitely, it's a lot more intense. It's more challenging, no doubt about it. Places like Jeddah, Baku, it is hard to really get to the limit. I think it feels like we have a lot of street circuit. I remember at one point thinking last year, like, Jesus, I wish for a regular track right now. We can explore a little bit and run off and without consequence. But I also like street circuits. But I think we keep the right balance. But it's not bad right now.
Second year that we have MoneyGram on the Haas car. Second year of a very significant sponsorship for the team. What benefits does it bring to have MoneyGram with the team and a continued partnership?
Yeah, I think it's very much part of the team, and then last year that was pretty clear, and having this consistency, going on for 5 years, that's really, we need to stabilize the team. People need to understand that we are here for the long term. So with that, I think it's excellent, and the more we work closely together, and then we see many things in a similar way. So it's a great partner for long term.
And it's nice to see people from outside putting effort, time into the Haas team, a team that can really go places if you just believe, and I think there's a huge amount of belief in the team, that things can change and things will happen.
Yeah, honestly, there's lots of positivity. Of course, our model has limitations, but at least we need to get to that limitation first, and I believe there's still huge room for improvements to get there. So yeah, really exciting times for us.
Where do you think the team are going to be strong this year? What tracks might suit the car?
Well, we have to go to wheel coffee and you come with this.
Yeah, I know, but everyone wants to know this. How quick are you going to be? What tracks are going to suit you?
Okay, we're going to be good everywhere, okay?
Going to be good everywhere.
Yes. Okay.
That's your exclusive, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight. We are going to be good everywhere.
Maybe.
All right, I'll put it another way. As drivers, what races do you get excited about the most? When you look at the calendar, you think, right, that's going to be a good one.
For me, it's Montreal, definitely one of my favorites. Austin, I love that whole sequence. Austin, Mexico, Brazil. That's my favorite triple header. And Monaco. Monaco is always a thriller.
And you could stay at home for the weekend.
That too. Got my own mattress there.
Got your own mattress.
Without having to carry it.
Which one's your favourite game?
I actually quite agree a lot with Nico's once that triple header is for sure the best of the triple headers in Monaco. So very much agree.
The Meat Sweats triple header. Austin, Mexico, Brazil.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's the one where I tend to wear dark coloured clothing at the end of it, just to make myself look a bit better. And F1 Academy comes to Formula One racetracks, comes to Formula One weekends. Big season ahead for F1 Academy. Chloe Chambers, your driver. I'm really excited about F1 Academy and the closer links now with Formula One teams, with that junior series for the female drivers.
No, it's great. This is the first year we're doing it, right? And then it's great to have an American driver in Chloe Chambers working with us. So she's gonna be basically waving American flag. So it's great. And then really looking for I met her in Banbury factory. Great person. Still 19 years old, very young. So very happy to take part in developing her, becoming a more confident racing driver.
Do you two get involved as mentors as well? Do you have time in your schedule to help Chloe, to give advice? You've come up through the junior ranks, you know how mentors can be really important.
Kevin said he would, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've never done F1 Academy, obviously. So, but I'm gonna be available. It's the first year we have a F1 Academy driver. So, looking forward to seeing what you can do and follow.
You've never obviously driven an F1 Academy, but you are both fathers of daughters. So, at what stage do
Yeah, is yours interested? She is. She likes sitting in cars and playing and being on the wheel. I might be in trouble there.
No, I don't think that's trouble at all. It might be a bit costly for the first few years, financial trouble, but worth it at the end.
Hopefully, maybe.
Absolutely. Has he become world champion? You're in a very influential position, both of you here. Although, as fathers, has that changed your approach, changed your outlook on life now, racing as fathers, to how it was 5-6 years ago?
I think on racing, not at all, because I think we're in the racing world, racing mind very much, and especially when you get in the car and put the visor down, you tend to forget about everything else. So it doesn't really affect there. Obviously, in life and how you see and feel certain things, definitely that changes a bit. But for me, I think it's only been positive so far, giving more stability, more focus on the racing also.
It's a good way to completely forget as well what's happened over the racing weekend. Get back to the family and suddenly something else seems a bit more important. Right, gentlemen, we have some questions now, not just from me, but from our assembled group. Thank God, says Nico. From our assembled group of F1 experts and fans here. So, questions please, from the floor. Who wants to go first? And I'm looking at a man who I've rechristened Henry Haas, who is a Haas superfan, right? And he said he's the only Haas superfan in the whole of the UK, which I don't believe at all. But Henry, do you have a question, sir?
Well, funnily enough, you stole the question that I was going to ask them.
It's always the way.
Because I'm a father. I've just become a father. My son's 2 weeks old today. So I was wondering, how does having children change your perspective on participating? Does it slow you down? Does it make you change your risk taking? What exactly about being a parent has changed your perspective?
Yeah, do you want to answer that one first? Because Nico goes a good.
Yeah, honestly, I think Nico's right when he says that once you are in the car racing it, you don't tend to think about those outside. You're not like you're focused on just driving and you close everything out. But yeah, I think in life it does change your life. You realize that it does change your life, but not so much in the car. It's tougher to be away for long periods of time. In the past, triple headers used to be fine, they're still fine, but you miss home a little extra. So that's the main thing.
We're actually wondering how it is that if you have a son who's 2 weeks old, you've managed to get away to come here tonight. That is a proper achievement.
I owe her a very big meal out.
Yes, you do. You owe her even more than that. Your wife is a saint and very much a keeper on that one. Do we have any more questions? This man here, shall I come with a microphone because it might be easier for you?
Also, another super fan of F1 here. Just want to ask a question on the regulations. So we've seen a lot of changes in the regulations lately. However, for 2024, my understanding is that there's no changes in regulation. Is there any change you would have wanted to see that has not happened, or are you happy with the regulations the way they are?
Great question. What would you change if you could?
I think the regulations they're fine, but I think from my perspective is, especially from the year before, when we went to this generation cars with this aerodynamics, following and overtaking therefore was better, easier, much more doable. And last year I feel we lost a bit of that quality. Hopefully, we're not going away from that more, because that it's just not great for racing, wheel-to-wheel action. So I hope that the aerodynamic guys don't make any more trouble on that.
Yeah, the better the aero guys do, the harder it is for the drivers. What would you change if you could?
No, that's a good point on the following. I think that's what we need the most at the minute, is being able to race better and closer, I guess. And the cars. This thing isn't working so well. The cars were porpoising a lot, and that's why they made the changes that made the following more difficult. So.
I have a regulation change every year. This is the one I want changing. Ban blue flags.
That's true.
Low cost.
They don't have it in America. In American racing, they don't have blue flags.
Or World Endurance or anything like that. It's low cost. In fact, saves money, so you don't have to make any more new flags. And basically, you guys don't have to jump out of the way just because Max Verstappen says boo and expects you to ruin your race. Can you imagine how brilliant Monaco would be without blue flags? Carnage!
Or just another real long train, I don't know. Monaco, tough, but yeah, maybe.
See, you're thinking about this one
Have
there.
you suggested it anywhere?
I've suggested it many times.
Nobody heard you then yet.
Nobody listens to a word I say, that's the trouble. Do we have any more questions, ladies and gentlemen, from our super fans here amongst us at F1 Drive? If we haven't, we have a very, very special thing to do, and that is to set some incredible lap times on our F1 Drive track. Before we do that, in a nutshell, how exciting is this season going to be? 2024, 24 races. Have you ever looked forward to a season more than this year? Come on, I'm picking you up here.
No, we're excited. Nico is as well. He's not good at showing it, but he is excited, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And so am I. I think it's, as I said, we have a new outlook for this year and a lot of opportunities, so I can't wait to get started.
And who's going to be fastest on our track tonight? The big guy or the little guy?
Let's see.
It's going to be close as usual, but I think I'll be ahead.
Yeah? Okay.
Let's see.
We have a one-lap shootout, gentlemen. One time lap on our track. Have you had the safety briefing?
Yes.
Good, it's a very good safety briefing. It took me ages to record it. Do you know the track? No. Excellent. Do you want to know the track? Lots of corners, few straights. You've got DRS and you've got ERS as well, because it's